Hello Michael, it's been a few months since you was visiting the UK, so we've decided, since you've been here and you've seen some of your friends and you've been back home to Australia and told your friends and the Tippler boys, we've decided to make a video when Michael Aston, who's coming to Australia in December, will bring you the video. You'll see all different types of birds, Michael, the Lofts, the Bowdens, and of course your favourite, the Good News. We shall start here. I shall take you through the Loft, and then later on we'll go and see all the other lads of the Willenhall Tippler Club. If there's a big garden, obviously we always have a big lot, but if it's a small garden, obviously again it'll be a small lot. So you'll get a cross section of all the lads in the Black Country, in the middle of UK. And so I shall take you through the Loft now, Michael, and then we'll go and see the other lads later. Tex, who you had birds off, and I'll take you to Archie Guy, the man who has got the cock, which is a top Good News bird, which you had the youngsters off. Right, as you know, Michael, this is the big flight which we had. My birds are housed in here as youngsters, and then when I fly them, when they land on the Loft, they come through this trackway here, which is open, and then they come in there, and the lights are from there and from the other side of the pen. And hopefully when we have a good fly, Michael, we get them in there. The Loft is 24 feet wide and 8 feet deep. There's a little, what I've got here, Michael, I've put this on this year. It's a little device where I can put the youngsters in, and then it opens up, and then if I'm at work, June can just come and loose them out. It's quite effective, actually. This time of the year, Michael, it's our winter, so we've divided all the birds up. I'll take you now to look at the hens and then the cocks. I have my own sauna in here, Michael, where the birds go and they bath, which they have once a week. So we'll go and look at the hen section now. These, Michael, are the breeding hens. As you can see, they're basically 95% Good News. They're a smaller pigeon, obviously the type of birds which you like. I usually breed off from approximately 8 pair, so I've got 2 or 3 hens spare. I like blues, but again, if I want to increase the colour into silvers, I pair the blue to a silver, and obviously we get the silvers and the blues, but I do like a nice kit of blues. We get the occasional clay hen, which I've got there, and I've got a checker clay over there. But that basically, these will be paired up probably the end of February, and then we'll have to see how many youngsters we can keep off them. We now move to the cock section. These again, Michael, are the stock cocks. The father of your 2 pigeons is here, both the Good News cock and my own particular cock. Again, there's around 14 here. There's 2 birds I've had a Shannon this year, which I hope to breed from. They're bred in this particular, this is the breeding section, with the boxes on the left, and there'll be approximately 8 pairs in this section, which is around 9 foot by 8. And I deep litter with sand and just rake it over. But this particular family of birds here, Michael, are 20 years. It's took me 20 years to get this family. Well, they're originally from off another flyer named Cyril Miles, who comes from Birmingham, who has since finished in the sport. But I've still got one original bird left, and this is this bird here, and that's the father of one of your birds what I sent over. He won the young bird NTU averages on an average of 16 hours per fly probably about 8 years ago, and he's been a wonderful producer. Superb pigeon. And that's what I hope I can start off with next year, and again I know I shall get some good youngsters from them, but it's a matter of if we can hold them. Here's the flying section. This is one of the cocks I've fled for the last 2 years. So again, as you can see, it's a type of bird what you like, which is a small head and a small beak. Although it's a cock, it isn't what you call a big pigeon. And the wing in itself isn't that big. And I think these birds will suit your climate in Australia. This is the 3rd year these birds will be fled. Over the average of last year, I think they averaged around probably about 14 hours per fly over the 5 flies. There's him and his brother there, but these are new birds this year. But what I've done this year is, there's a system now in the UK which is on dark flying, and it is to preserve the wing, to keep them back in the mouth for the flies. And basically what it is, when the birds have been fed, they are dark. So what I've done is put shooters on to the pen, onto the flying boxes, and that enables me either to dark them or to keep them natural. And I've started that this year. Whether it'll work, I can't tell you till probably next year. This bird here, this is an Eddie Plester pigeon, who again has finished in the sport, but his father fled 20 hours, and it's a bird for Tex Brooks. It was brought to me last week, but it's got to go to Tex. But it's a very similar bird to my own bird, but it's slightly a bit bigger in beak, but it's still again a small pigeon, and Eddie Plester flew these very, very well. And as you can see, it is a small wing compared to the Bowden pigeon. So I'll take this one to Tex probably next week, and he'll probably pair it to another of his Plester hens. But it is a nice pigeon. The droppers are under there for this part of the winter, but they'll go back into one of the big sections probably early in January to get them fitted to start them working. They're fed through the bars, so you water them and you feed them through there, and they have what you give them, not what they want. I think you've seen now my setup, Michael. So what I'm going to do now is take you through to the other lads. Right, we're at Tex's now, Michael, and I'm going to have a few words with Tex to tell you how he started in the breed, and we'll take it from there. Right, Tex, you go back a few years with Tippler flying. Who was your first club, and what was the bird you had to start with?
1969 I first joined the Walsall Club. My first pigeon originated from George Marlowe in Sheffield.
Who was an ex-world champion?
Ex-world record holder, 1945 George flew him. I forget what year he was now, which was mostly badges, red, white,
yeah.
that. I kept them pigeons for a few years. And then I left the sport then, 50 years out to the job I done with driving abroad.
And how long was you flying competition before you went abroad?
I think I had about 3 years.
3 years.
3 or 4 years, yeah.
And basically you fled.
I fled the Marlow pigeons when I was in the Walsall Club.
Yeah.
I left Walsall, then I moved to Willenhall, and I joined the Willenhall Club.
That's right, I remember.
And I had some Bowden birds, and I had some York pigeons kept, which I had a good time of 17 or 16 with 3 young pigeons that you have bred for me. And that's my best time young birds.
Yeah, and that was probably about, what, 10, 11 years ago?
Yeah, 15 years ago. 15 years ago, well, yeah.
You left the sport then?
Yeah.
Through your work?
That's correct, yes.
And then you came back in the sport 2 years ago?
2 years ago, yeah.
Had you got this set up then, or have you added to it?
I had this setup's been up about 18 or 19 years now, but I've added the other sheds to it and refurbished, because obviously over the years it stood, it all got knocked about.
So, you're saying basically you've got 3 breeds?
Yeah.
You've got...
I've got the Bowdens.
You've got the Bowdens, which was off...
Which off Jimmy MacDonald, Eric Anslow.
Yeah, an ex-world champion again.
Yeah, and I've got the Gordon Hughes type pigeons, which a lot of pigeons are York Ken, and some of that are Ron Paskin.
Which were, Rons were Brian Whites again, going back to Gordon Hughes.
And there's some that have had a Tom Dilks, which are the Gordon Hughes.
Tommy was a big Gordon Hughes man. Again, ex-Willenhall member.
Yeah, correct, yes, yeah.
And there could be a possibility as he'll join again this year.
I do believe so.
As you can see around, Michael, there's a lot of houses, but they do fly well. Tex won a national this year, the first in our club this year, may I add, of 16-1 young bird, which was a good, I think, 45 minutes in front of the second kit. So we was, as from Willenhall's point of view, we was very pleased with that. Tex works his birds hard. He's had a lot of disappointments, but he still keeps coming back. He's crossed his birds with them 3 main breeds, what he has told you about, and he flies them very, very successful. Can we now look at some of your birds, what you've got for next year?
Yeah, well, what I'll do now, Ken, I'll show you my flying cocks that I've put away for next year.
Yeah. And what sort of times have these birds done?
Some of these cocks that are in there, they've done over 19 hours, but unofficially I've never got my time.
Yeah.
You know, I got disqualified, but they have done 19 hours, and I've done 16 hours, I've done 17 hours. But officially, there's a 16-hour one cock in there, which I won the national with. I mean, unfortunately, I lost the other 2 out of the kit.
Yes, again, it's a funny old sport. He won the national, and the next time he put his kit up, which was, I think, about probably a week later, was it, Tex?
Yeah.
He lost 2 of those particular birds, and he hasn't seen them since. So it's a funny old sport at times. So if we can have a look at these cocks you've got, are all these cocks dog trained?
Yes, everything's to the dog. Yeah.
You don't keep birds for next year what are not dog trained?
I would do, yes, but I think it's better to dog them as young ones and get them into the habit.
Yeah, saves a lot of time.
Yeah, a lot of time next year. Well, I think you've got to dog train young ones to do any competition to do.
Which is true. Yeah. Which is true. So if you could lose the cocks out, Tex, and we'll have a look at those, and then we'll just have a tour about them. Blue sticks.
Yes, Ken, these are Bowdens and some of yours, and some are bred out of Ron Paskins.
Well, They do look well, there's no question about it. And have you got the particular bird what you won your national with here? Or is it?
Yes, Kenny's, I'm just going to try and find it. There he is.
Can we just have a look at him, Tex? And this was your first national win. And what bird is that, Tex?
That's bred out of a cock I had off Ronnie Paskin.
Yes.
And a hen that you let me have, Ken.
Yeah. Which that hen again
Is a golden news. Yeah. Golden news type pigeon. Yeah.
Yeah. It quite hasn't finished its moult yet, has it?
No, it's just got a couple of on it.
Yeah. But again, you're looking at a small type bird. Again, the wing there, Michael, look. Again, ideal for warm climates. Still got probably 3 to drop. But it's a pity as he didn't keep the others. But that's the sport. So that's got to be one of your favourite birds at the moment, Tex?
Oh, yeah. I mean, the brothers last year and the sisters to it was good pigeons, all good pigeons. I mean, the brother to this, I fed him 19 hours twice and unfortunately I got disqualified.
So they're good?
Yeah.
Good stayers?
Oh, good stayers, yeah.
The fine style?
Oh, they do. Good height.
Style,
yeah.
A good height in them. Pleasure to referee and to watch.
Yeah, that's it.
Good, so those are all the cocks. Can we go and look at your setup in your lofts? I see you've got your droppers there. They're ours, I presume they're ours in here.
That's it, Ken, yeah.
And then they operate across. Yeah. That's the object of having these lofts like that, as they operate that way. But again, those are looking in good nick. I see you exercise them regular. Could you explain the trap? Well, the trap, again, there's so many different types of traps, but they all do the same job.
The trap, I can move the birds out from the side door.
Oh yeah. Through there.
Yeah, and get them back in that way.
Yeah.
But if I'm loosing more birds out, if I was to loose a kit of 7 or 8 hours, obviously, you can't get them out of a door like that. So what I do, I have this and I just drop the front.
And out they go.
And out they go, out that way, yeah.
So it's a double system operation in that. And you just work from the 2 lights, Tex?
Yeah, that's it, yeah.
From that one there? Yeah. Do you work from that one?
No, that's just that other light's just a spare. Yeah, just a spare, that is.
And you find that works well for you?
Yeah.
I never
no problem with it at all.
Yeah. Now, can we just have a look at the setup where you start your youngsters from, on the left-hand side? What size would you say your lofts are altogether, Tex? You'd be looking at what, altogether, 40 foot?
Easy, 50 feet of it.
50 feet of lofts. Approximately 6 feet deep.
That's correct, yeah.
And then obviously they divided into sections. So we'll start from the left-hand side and then we'll have a look at them as we go through. I can see from here you breed off 10 pair. You design these boxes yourself, I presume.
That's correct, yeah.
And you get your 2 bowls in there for the second round.
Yeah, I'll get 2 bowls in it, yeah. That's it.
And then your feeding arrangements, which is unusual, may I say, is just below the breeding boxes, which you've got your water. I like that idea of the corn. This probably stops them throwing it all about.
That's it, yeah, it helps the job.
And then obviously there's a good supply of grit and minerals there for them onto the silver sand. Also on the floor, Tex, I see you've got it wired, which again is a good modern method, and it's quite easy to pick them up and clean them out after. How often do you clean them out, Tex? Is it a once a week job?
It's every 2 weeks, yeah, but like this time of the year I tend to leave them a little bit and try and get them through the moult, you know, because there's feathers every day. You clean them out one day, then there's back the next.
So this is your main stock pen?
This is my main stock pen, but I have got 6 more breeding boxes in the other shed, I tend to keep my Bowdens in and breed off.
Yes.
And your type of pigeons and the golden eels I breed in the other shed. I don't keep the two pairs together, so there's no chance of a cock.
I'm with you, but you do fly them together.
Oh, fly them together, yes. Yeah.
And you found no problem with
No problem. No problem. No.
Because a lot of people say you can't fly different breeds, and obviously you disagree with that.
I disagree with it.
Yeah, fine. And then obviously they come through into the flight.
That's it, yeah.
Which is open all the while.
All the while, yeah.
Can we just have a look in the flight then, Tex, and just talk about what's in there? I presume you've got some Bowdens in here.
There's Bowdens. See, all these are stock cocks now.
Yes.
And they're all just separate each other all together now.
Yeah, they're all together.
The Bowdens and your pigeons again, and pigeons about a rod.
I presume the silver white flights are Bowdens.
Silver white flights, the cremies, the blues. The big silver cock there is what Eric Anslow let me have. He's been a good pigeon. He's a good breeder.
He's a good, yeah. I can see Tex, obviously they're a bigger bird than mine, but again, I'm still suited to the climate here. They still do the business for you. I think there's been more world records with the Bowdens than with any other pigeon. So it's just a matter of choice. Would you say that?
That's what it is, a matter of choice, yeah. I mean, the Bowden birds seem to suit this area.
Yeah.
You know, I mean, I've spoken to people in Newcastle with birds with the players who said the Bowdens don't suit their area. But I think it's how you find yourself.
That's right.
You know. Everybody's got their own different way of doing things.
And then obviously you've got the bathing, what's in there all the while. Do you find they use the bath every day, Tex, or is it once a week, twice a week?
Well, the cocks have all been in there this morning because it was raining. When they see a little bit of rain, they tend to get straight in the bath.
Yeah. But it's a good thing for stock birds, I would say, to come from out of the stock pen and have the freedom and then go back, because obviously they're getting more exercise as well.
They seem to rear the young ones better. They ain't prisoners, are they? They ain't total prisoners. They're just stuck in a box and locked in a shed and never have no freedom.
Oh, they're looking fine, without a doubt. Oh, now, can we look at the flying boxes now? Now we've seen the cocks. But that is a good cross section of Bowdens and basically good news. But as Tex has said, these birds are separated when the breeding starts. Right, can we now look at your flying boxes? You've got what we call kit boxes, which is obviously a larger type. Can you tell me how many birds you're putting into these kit boxes? And do you fly them from your kit box?
Basically, I put about 8 in this box, 8 in that box there, and I've got another box on the side which holds about 6.
Yeah.
I mean, I try not to use that at the bottom because it's a bit of hard work, you know. I ain't too very keen on the too much bendy.
Well, I do agree with that. In the sport, if you've been in a long time, I tend to find as people like to keep everything above probably 3 feet high. I agree with that. Once you've got your birds in here, say you've got 8 birds in there, haven't they fled as a kit?
When I'm first breaking them in, yes. Yeah, when I'm first breaking them in, I tend to keep them together, get them used to one another, loose them out together as a kit. And then you'll sort your birds out, you sort your kit to 3 out, 4 out, 5 out, whichever, 7. That's how it works, yeah.
And then, let's say after the first fly, if you fly in competition, do you then put them into the little kit boxes, or would you tend to keep them as a kit?
I'll keep them together up till a week before the competition, before the first competition.
Well, can I ask you, if you've got 8 in there and they've all fled together, do you fly them together just before the competition?
I'll sort my best few out. If I thought out of 8 there was 5 exceptional, then I'd leave them 3 out and just concentrate on them 5.
But before the actual fly, you would box them separate
before the actual build-up, as we call it. Yeah, so they all get the same food and some balanced amount of food they're all receiving it.
And you don't find there's no problem with them kitting once they've been separated?
No, I've never experienced it. I mean, I'm not saying it can't happen.
Yeah.
But
you've never experienced it. So basically this is your flying pen?
This is, my actual flying shed boxes where I fly them out of and build them up is the shed. Yes, this is the other shed where all the flying boxes are.
This is where the hard work is done.
Yeah, yeah. This is where you break them in. I break because I can load them straight out of it into the flood.
Which they go right through.
Yeah, and I've also on the other side there, there's a box I can hold 14 or 15 young ones in there. So when you first bought your first round,
yeah,
I can put them into there. So
can I ask how many pairs you breed up?
Well, I bred up about 14 pairs last year. 14, 15 pairs, but I should probably be bred up about 15 pairs this year.
Yeah, which you have around 3 rounds of?
3 rounds, yeah.
Which gives you an average of around 80 birds, probably.
80 birds, yeah, but I mean, you'll have your losses, and they don't all come up to expectations, do they? I mean, and if they don't, I don't take no prisoners, I should put them in the bin.
So you're saying that as long as you can end up with around figure of around 20, 25 birds for the next year, you're quite happy, yeah, of that. Which
I mean, I gave a lot of pigeons away last year.
Yes.
You know, I must have gave about 30 to 40 pigeons away last year.
So you didn't lose many, really?
Not really, no.
On average?
No. I mean, there's a few I killed that don't
yes.
perform, you spoil them.
Yeah. It's fly or die then?
That's it, fly or die.
Right, can we go now and look at your main flying boxes? Again, obviously we've got more individual boxes here. Again, I like to see this system here where the birds can stand on. Boxes of what, they're around what, text, 16 inches square?
16 inches square, yes, that's
Yeah.
yeah. Yeah.
And then again, you've got this section at the bottom, spare beds.
Spare beds, but as I say, I try not to use it if I can,
Yeah.
because
It's a lot of...
yeah.
These large ones at the top, text, any particular?
They're just they're kit boxes. I mean, I think if I've sorted the kit of 3 or 4 out,
Yeah.
and what I will do, I will feed them separately
Yeah.
in the kit boxes, then I'll put them all back together. I'll put the 4 back together.
Well, what's the idea of you putting those 4 back together once
It's something I just found out myself. Whether it's, I think they kit better, kid. They tend to stop together.
Yeah. I'm with you. But you don't do that all the while?
Not all the while, no. It's just something I'll play about with.
Yeah. Do you find if you do it with old birds, they fight?
No.
No, they seem to tend, if they're brought up like that as youngsters, they seem to accept you. When obviously you've got ample boxes there, nice and open, and as you say, you can feed them from this tier to that tier.
That's right, yeah.
And then
yeah.
you've got the options of either using the top boxes or the bottom. It's a flexible system. Right. Can we just look at your medicine room? Because I know Tex has got a medicine room.
Don't bring the drug squad.
This is when they say feed your birds just on corn, don't believe them. This is a combination of, I presume it's for when you pair up canker and coxswain and
it's all the basics medicines you use for your diseases and
yeah.
But I mean, there's the corn bins. That's prestige corn. There's the punitive in there.
Yeah. As long as it's good corn, then Tex.
Yeah, and these are some peas I've just started to get, which I'm stocking up now, which I shall feed all my stock pigeons on when they're really young ones.
So what you're saying, I'm just fed on.
That's all I feed.
Protein.
Oh, yeah, I only feed peas.
On those rear the youngsters, there's no mixed corn.
No, peas.
Just peas. On once that's filled up, you get about what, 500 weight?
About 400 weight.
400 weight in there on that.
That does me.
I'm with you. Yeah. I presume you have some of your medicines from Belgium.
Yes.
Trico Plus.
Yeah.
But basically it's just to keep the birds healthy.
That's correct. Yeah.
And again, it's nice to see. You don't see many sections like this, which is just corn and the medicines to get the birds fit to fly. Yeah, it's a a good setup.
It's just cool. There ain't no secret wonder drug.
No.
You know what I mean? There ain't. It's just basically what you buy at the pet shop.
But obviously, Tex, you've got the room, as I've said before. You've got a big garden, so obviously you've got the room to expand and to have a section like this. A lot